I put solar panels up, and I can get power and store it with a Generac.
Correct.
And then use it when I want to?
Correct. So you can use that.
That's right now.
That's right now.
You know, Generac stock price is up 239% in the last 12 months, but does that mean you should buy it right now? Or, for that matter, should you buy it at all? It was Charlie Munger who said, "The big money is not in the buying or selling, but in the waiting." Welcome to MGA Investing. My name is Dee, and well, what exactly is Charlie referring to that we should be waiting for? One of those things I think that's worth waiting for could be more valuable and executable information from which to base our buying decisions, other than the rising price of the stock. As a value investor, meaning someone that is willing to buy something worth more in the future than it is right now, what is your criteria for determining if the company is a value? The set of criteria that I use to measure value is called the dumb method, a simple, reliable, and replicatable way to analyze stocks for investment without all the math, and a process that I've used successfully for decades. What is the dumb method? DUMB is an acronym. The D in the DUMB method stands for Durable Competitive Advantage. It measures the strength of a company to actually fight off its competition and sustain profitability over an extended period of time. U stands for understand, meaning do I understand how the company makes money? Because see, if you don't understand how it makes money, how do you make sense of the long-term revenue prospects of the company? M1 stands for management. Is the management effective at operating the business? I use 5 key metrics to measure management effectiveness, which I'll cover in an upcoming video. M stands for margin of safety. Can I buy the stock at a discount? Each of these criteria are scored on a 10-point scale, with 10 being the highest possible score. All 4 scores are added up for the total dump score, with a maximum total score of 40. Companies that score above the 25-point mark are considered for further review and possible purchase decisions. Now, there are several other factors involved, but the dumb method is it's essentially the filter that I use to see what goes into my serious consideration pile. This video, part 2 of a 5-part comprehensive Generac stock analysis, is focused on the D of the dumb method. That is, its durable competitive advantage, because without a durable competitive advantage, well, there's less of a likelihood that the company can sustain, at least over an extended period of time, profitability, which would permit me the opportunity to obtain my goal of 15 to 20% return on my investment within a 3 to 5 year period. So what is a durable competitive advantage? A durable competitive advantage is what Warren Buffett refers to as a moat. A moat provides a defensible position for a castle from its enemies. When a company has a durable competitive advantage, it means it has the ability, by way of either regulatory advantage, proprietary business practices, processes, or patents, to defend their market lead mid to long term against competitors within a given industry. Having a defensible position increases the odds of that company's ability to gain significant market share against its competitors, which could potentially translate into higher growth for the company and higher returns for the shareholders. As I've said before, nothing is for sure in a world full of unforeseen variables, but determining whether a company has a durable competitive advantage, well, that provides me a relative level of confidence that I'm on track. I'm sure you can think of several companies with a durable competitive advantage in their industry. Companies like Apple with its ecosystem, Google Search, Nike shoes and athletic wear, Tesla EVs, and Coke with soft drinks. So you get the idea. Sometimes companies like these have multiple points of a durable competitive advantage. So what is Generac's durable competitive advantage? A tool that I use to determine a durable competitive advantage is Porter's 5 Forces. It was created by Harvard Business School professor Michael Porter and later published in 1979 to help analyze the attractiveness and potential profitability of a company. It identified 5 forces that make up a competitive environment. So you have competitive rivalry, threat of new entrant, threat of substitution, buyer power, and supplier power. I use Porter's 5 forces as a framework to establish if a company has a durable competitive advantage. Now here's a look at Porter's 5 forces as I use them. I use Porter's 5 forces as a framework to substantiate my hunches in certain areas and to determine if a company, and in this case study, Generac, has enough of a durable competitive advantage to warrant my investment. Let's start with competitive rivalry. This is where the focus is the number of competitors in the market and the strength of those competitors. And where there is more competition, there often develops a race to the bottom with pricing, which is not good for long-term profitability or for my rate of return. So as it relates to competitive rivalry, I don't need to know the total number of competitors, but I do need to have a sense of who the big players are in this space and how much of a challenge they can pose to Generac's possible durable competitive advantage. Generac has 3 distinct business segments built around a concept called distributed energy resources that make up Generac's GSM ecosystem of generate, store, and manage power. There's no question Generac faces competition both domestic and international from large diversified industrial companies and smaller generator manufacturers, as well as mobile equipment, engine power tools, solar inverter, battery storage, and grid service providers. On the residential side, some of the competitors are companies like Kohler, Briggs & Stratton, Cummins, Honda, Champion, Tektronix International, Husqvarna, Ariens, LG Chem, Tesla, Enphase, Solar Edge, and Sunrun, along with a number of smaller domestic and foreign competitors not listed here. Generac, over the last several years, has quietly evolved into a formidable market-leading energy technology solutions company as it has combined its vast engineering experience and strategic acquisitions of companies like Neurio, a leading energy data company focused on metering technology and sophisticated analytics to optimize energy use, and Pika Energy, a leading manufacturer of smart storage solutions and smart batteries. Enbala, a leading provider of distributed energy optimization and control software for the electrical grid, and recently Chilicon, a designer and provider of grid interactive microinverter and monitoring solutions for the solar market. I'll talk more in depth about each of these in the next video, where I discuss the U in the dumb method for understanding how Generac actually makes money. On the commercial industrial product side, there are companies like Caterpillar, Cummins, Kohler, IGSA, Wacker, Multiquip, Terex, Dozen, Briggs & Stratton, Atlas Copco, Himoitsa, and FG Wilson, all of which also manufacture diesel engines, so also are competitors for diesel generators. There are other products as well. Generac also competes with some of the same companies for service parts as well as extended warranty revenue. In the grid services optimization software market, Generac has as its competitors companies like AutoGrid, Energy Hub, along with other grid service solution providers. Another thing to consider is, are there any quality or otherwise differences between companies? So let's talk about these quality differences. So where Generac is differentiated is that they are currently the only market participant whose primary focus is on power equipment with a specific emphasis on standby, portable, and mobile generators, giving them a broad capabilities across the residential, light commercial, and industrial markets. Generac is also building in greater switching costs with the integration of their solar plus storage products. Another thing to think about is their switching costs. So switching costs is anytime you move, is there a penalty of some sort? Is it more difficult to move? If you're currently in one system to move to another system, the more difficult that is, it has a higher switching cost. So in the case of Generac, is there a switching cost? Well, anytime heavy equipment and compatibility is involved, there's always high switching costs. Generac is also building in greater switching costs with the integration of their solar plus storage products, software platforms, and generators as a way to form what they call a VPP, or virtual power plant, to help address peaks in electricity demand and add more resiliency from power outages. And so there is switching costs, again, when you're talking about these larger pieces of equipment that have considerable cost to them. In terms of customer loyalties, this is important because customer loyalty translates into customer retention. With 70% of the residential power generator market share, Generac has built in significant customer loyalty. Its advantages, other than its brand recognition and home generators, are its cost, it's quieter, and its overall performance compared to its biggest competitor, Kohler. This is speaking, when you're talking about customer loyalty, this is speaking directly to customer retention. The goal here is to retain current customers and acquire more customers year over year, and to upsell current customers. So customer loyalty is very important. So where there's lack of customer loyalty, there is obviously customer attrition. All right, let's zoom out And let's go back and let's talk about threat of new entrants. So this is about how easy it is for competitors to enter the market. The cost of entry or regulatory constraints that prevent some companies, new companies, from moving into the market. And so things like time and cost of entry this particular market is not an easy market to enter because it's very capital intensive. To compete with Generac today would require a company to go on an acquisition buying spree over several years and then work for several years to try and get all the equipment to work together seamlessly, since that is where Generac is right now. This would require some deep pockets. Now, the nearest competitor that could be capable, at least from a technology standpoint, of doing this, along with some additional acquisitions, would be possibly Tesla. So Tesla could make some strategic acquisitions to shore up their existing technologies and broaden their manufacturing capability, but they still would be lagging in factory support and customer service, something Generac has built over 60 years. Another thing I want to just talk about very briefly is that specialized knowledge. And I just want to just touch on that a little bit. Generac's extensive experience in the home market gives them particular insight into customer needs and also use that companies competing in the same sector, they just don't have. So and also you have to add in their more than 500 engineers is a definite advantage. And then let's go down to threat of substitution. This is about how easy it is for your customers to substitute your product or service with a better or cheaper solution. Cheaper solutions in this market absolutely exist, but vertically stackable integrated products that work within an ecosystem to produce, store, resell, and distribute power, Generac currently has no rival. Even as you compare solar plus battery storage, the Tesla PowerWall, though it's cheaper, but the Generac PwrCell, it stores, delivers, and distributes solar energy, as well as allow you to operate your home as an island off the grid when needed. You can also more easily upgrade battery storage with the PwrCell than you can the PowerWall. You can also more easily upgrade battery storage with the PwrCell than you can with the PowerWall. With the PwrCell, the owner can easily just install that additional battery, up to 6 batteries, and they can actually do that themselves on the PwrCell wall-mounted accessible cabinet for a total of 9 kilowatt capacity themselves without the need to pay for additional service calls and installation fees. Another advantage of the Generac PwrCell is that it has a high instantaneous power rating. Now, where that's important is the PwrCell has the ability to provide instantaneous, or what they call surge power, at a higher rate than most other batteries. Now, the benefit being the ability to handle sending a large amount of energy in a single instance to start power-hungry appliances like air conditioners. This typically can't be done from a battery. So being able to start air conditioners, water heaters, water pumps, that require more instantaneous power to start up than continuous power to keep running. All right, let's talk about supplier power. In terms of supplier power, there are 2 questions. How easy is it for suppliers to raise prices? A big concern. And how many suppliers do you have? Now, I would rate this as low just for Generac, just because Generac's economies of scale with their vertically integrated manufacturing capacity and globally diverse commercial footprint within 150 countries worldwide, it's a little bit less of a concern. Now, I'm not saying they don't have any exposure here, because certain parts used by Generac are single source, which does add risk to the business. In addition, a significant portion of Generac's components are also bought overseas. Overall, having their own factories across the world reduces the impact one single supplier through price increases could have on their overall business. And next, buyer power. So this is about how easy it is for your buyers, your clients, to dictate your pricing. But I would say in Generac's case, less likely. The Generac brand recognition, reliability of the product, the customer service, and product quality allow it to retain high margins on its Generac branded products, especially in the highly profitable energy solutions market. Generac is not dependent on one single or several bulk buyers for sales, so advantage Generac here. In conclusion, I see Generac has 5 distinct advantages against their competition. Number 1, manufacturing flexibility across multiple product lines, which provides them first mover advantage with the ability to scale up quickly to meet demand. And 2, an intact and functional diverse omni-channel distribution model that gives them the ability to put a product or service into market quickly. a tremendous advantage. And 3, factory support, beneficial after the sale of a product. It's one thing to make something, it's another thing to support it after the sale. Number 4, cross-technology leveraging capabilities. This is the opportunity to leverage his deep engineering expertise, its customer relationships, product knowledge, product width to create and innovate manufacturing and performance efficiencies in one product that can benefit other products within its product lineup, each time catapulting them further and further ahead of their competition. Thus work to make their own products obsolete before their competition. In a way, this is another application of Wright's law. It was T.P. Wright that discovered that progress increases with experience. Each percent increase in cumulative production in a given industry results in a fixed percentage improvement in production efficiencies. As Generac has done this longer, they've learned and implemented efficiencies that reduce costs and improve customer experience, adding to their competitive advantage. So, does Teladoc have a durable competitive advantage? Yes. Number 1, certainly their economies of scale, as I just mentioned. Number 2, their broad capabilities afforded them within their products offers. Number 3, a vast operational omni-channel distribution. Number 4, the brand reputation. And number 5, factory support. I give Generac a durable competitive score of 4. They definitely have some clear advantages. However, the energy technology space is still emerging, particularly as it relates with solar panels, inverters and battery storage and grid services. So it may be too early to call a winner just yet, although I believe if Generac can remain focused and they can merge the ability to combine my home generator to supply power to my battery storage system, it's near game over. Although Tesla owners can someday hook their car to their PowerWall, more people will own at-home generators than will own Teslas in the foreseeable future. Advantage Generac if they remain disciplined and innovative in terms of ways to give power back to the individual consumer. If you found this video helpful, give us a thumbs up and leave us a comment. And also remember to subscribe so that you can be notified when part 3 of this 5-part Generac comprehensive stock analysis is released. We'll all be talking about the U in the dumb method. That is understanding how the company makes money. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.